This person saying, as a happily married woman, how do I resist the excitement of flirtation and temptation from male colleagues who flatter my ego and pay me attention? I always seem to be looking to others for approval to build my self-worth.
Okay, girl. You as a married woman, I'll let you do your thing first.
Exited this WhatsApp group. Nanda left the group when she said, I was like, Michelle can take this one. I'm not even sure I heard all of the question, really. So this person is happily married. That confuses me as well. So you're happily married. Okay, great. You love your marriage. It's not that you want to end your marriage. You love your marriage. But you also... What? Who's flirting with who now?
Well, so the men in the office are flirting with her, and she's wondering how to resist the temptation because she's finding just some self-worth in that, in the approval from these other men.
Oh, wow. You need to get more God and you time. Do you know once God affirms you, everything else seems like whatever. Do you know when I've endured a season and God thanks me, no matter how much Pastor Bobby may write me a beautiful card and people, for me that's like when God rewards you, when God says thank you, when God says, my girl, you're beautiful, it is more powerful and meaningful to me than any other girl, you hot, you wanna, like, it's like once you've tasted good, that is just like, I mean, your husband or your man, because I was married for 3 years, like he can't even give you what God gives you. Right. You develop an appetite. I love that you said something towards those lines yesterday, that you just develop an appetite for that awesomeness. I would say if you're finding this to be a struggle, and it sounds like it is, if you're enjoying it a little, spend more time with the Lord, because those things are just, it leads up to distraction, and then all of a sudden your husband's not enough, and he was actually a great man, and it's all confusing. I'd say spend time with the Lord. Spend time with the Lord and just learn how he pursues you, he loves on you, he rewards you, and then you want to know what your man gives you, your husband gives you is addition, and then what your colleagues, that's the devil. Let's just call it what it is. That's the devil trying to distract you. And so I've obviously been married. I know what it means to be touched and loved and all of these things by a man. And right now I'm, transitioning well, and God has something for me. But in this season, look, I'm not going to settle for, what's not God's best for me. Because, you no sex before marriage, now you're married and now you're not married again. So still applies. I know God has the best for me. So I think to answer the question, spend time with the Lord and just great affirmation from Him. And then you'll realize that you don't really want your colleagues flirting with you, and you rebuke it. It's like, hey, I'm not that kind of girl.
Yeah. Because it is actually an act of disrespect. Yeah. They know you're married. Yeah. And if you were really happy, or they got the opinion that you were really happy, they wouldn't cross that line. So examine your heart. And ask God, what is the need that is really there? And that's something you take to your husband and give him the opportunity to fill it as best he can. And then you rely on God to do the rest, because God has created us all to fail one another just slightly. Because if anybody could be our all in all, we wouldn't need God, and He won't allow that. He won't share His glory with another. So He will leave that little space of disappointment even with your mate, because that's the part of you He wants to fill. There's a God-sized hole in your heart that only God can fill. That's it. And so your expectations have to shift. And your identity and your affirmation has to be in God. And then you are the glory of your husband. So how you present yourself to the world lets others know how he's making you feel and how he's taking care of you. And so if there's any deficit there, that's what the enemy uses as a foothold to try to tempt you and make you feel like you're not getting enough. So it's very, very important to do the heart work there and see their approach to you as disrespect and nothing that is pleasant.